XML means extensible markup language. This is also like a HTML. HTML is also a markup language. Here XML is also a markup language. But there is a difference between XML and HTML. XML, we don't have any predefined tag. That means here in the XML, we are going to define all the tags which we are going to use in the web page. But in HTML, all the tags are predefined, like the HTML tag itself, the head tag itself, or your H1 tag itself. They are all predefined. We just use the predefined tag in the HTML. But here in the XML, the tag is a self-defined. That means we ourselves is going to define our own tag. Like suppose if you want to create a page with the help of XML, then like student, that is the predefined tag. Within this student, you can include the name. That is also a self-defined tag. Then after giving a name, we will close the name tag. Then suppose the roll number, give one roll number here, then close the roll number. So this is also a predefined. Just after the completions of sub tag, we will close the main tag. Student tag. Here, by seeing this structure, we can say that the XML structure is just like a tree structure. Here, student is the parents tag or the root tag, and name and the roll number is the child tag, or we can say the sub tag. Okay, students, now let's learn about the XML element present in page number 93. What do you mean by XML element? XML element is everything from the element start tag to the element end tag, including the start tag and the end tag and the content. That means here this member is the start tag and this member is the end tag. So everything from this start tag up to the end tag is called the XML element. While writing this XML element, or you can say the tag, XML tag, we have to keep in mind some of the points like name, content, letter, number and other character. Here this member, ID, name, you can use a letter, you can also use a number, and you can also use other character. Second point, name cannot start with a number or punctuation character. When you start this name, you cannot start a name with a number. Like 1 member, this element name is wrong. Instead of this, we can use member 1. This is correct. So in this manner, we cannot start a name with a number or punctuation character. Next point, name cannot start with a letter XML, whether in the capital letter or whether in the mixed letter or whether in the small letter. That means you cannot start this member, ID or name. Instead of this, you cannot use this XML word itself. And the last point, name cannot contain space. That means when you give a name, you cannot give any space. Like here, member, then hyphen, then 1. So this one is correct, but you cannot use like this, member, space, 1. This is wrong. So here, this 4 point is very important. You just learn it by heart the 4 point. Number 1 point, name can contain letter, number and other character. Number 2, name cannot start with a number or punctuation character. Number 3, name cannot start with a letter XML, whether in the capital letter, small letter or mixed letter. And name cannot contain a space. One more thing that we have to remember in XML is just like a tree structure. Here tree structure means we have member, just after member we have ID, just after ID we have name, and name has been closed somewhere here. Then we have sports, then we have amount. Right? So this format is called a tree structure. This is the coding, and for writing making a tree structure, we can use from this coding itself. So let's create a tree structure of this code. So here member is the root element, ID, name, sports and amount is the child element, and this first name, last name is the subchild element. And one more thing that you have to remember is for each and every opening there should be a cross tick or the end tick. So let's start to create the tree structure. As member is the root element, member will come as a root in the first. Parents, we call as the parents also. Just after that, you look at this child element. We have one child element here, then we have second child element here, then third child element here, and the fourth child element. Alright, so you create a fourth child element here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Write a name, ID, name, sports, these are the four child element of the member element. Next, subchild element, we have only two subchild elements, that is here 1 and here 2. So subchild element come under element name. So just draw the subchild element here. First name and the last name. Now you feed the value of the element. The value of the element ID is M001. Name, we have two subchild, that is first name and last name. First name Vinay and last name Gupta. Then in the sports, you fill up the value here. Then you fill up the amount here. So in this manner, we can create from the coding into the tree structure, and from the tree structure a coding. So I hope you have learned everything about the XML. Please practice well. Next, let's learn about the well-formed XML document. That means we have already created the XML document, but we are going to identify whether this document is well-formed or not, whether the document is validated or not. For that, open page number 97. In page number 97, you will get some of the points which will indicate whether your XML document is a well-formed or not. First point, the root and the child element must be nested in a proper way. That means your root element, member, and your child element ID or your child element name should be nested in a proper order. That means you have to know that when you need to close the member tag, when you need to close the ID tag, and when you need to close the name tag. So when you close in a proper way, that is called a well-formed XML document. Next point, each start tag must have the corresponding end tag. As I have already told you earlier also, for each and every opening there should be an end tag. So the same point has been added here. Each start tag must have a corresponding end tag. Next point, all empty tag must be enclosed properly. That means in HTML you have find that your BR tag is an empty tag. That means in the BR tag we have only the open tag, we don't have any end tag. But In HTML, we just write only the BR tag. But here in the XML, that is not possible. Even in the XML, we have to close the BR tag. The way of closing the BR tag in XML is BR, then after that slash in the back side. Or you can use BR open and after the end of the tag, BR close. So in this manner, even the empty tag must be closed in the XML document. Next point is XML tag are case sensitive. The start and the end tag must be of the same spelling or the case. That means if you have the member tag in a small letter, then you have to close in the small letter. When you close at the end of the document, you have to close with a small letter itself. Your spelling of the letter should be same. You cannot close this member with the help of mixed letter like capital letter N, or you cannot close the member with the full capital letter, that is member. This is wrong. Instead, you have to close only with a small letter, that is called case sensitive. So we have to follow the case sensitive in XML but not in the HTML. And the last point, XML attribute value are enclosed within double quotation mark. That means the value of the attribute in the XML should be enclosed with a quotation, that is double quotation. So in this manner, we can identify that this XML document is a well-formed document. Next, validating an XML document, page number 98. Now you have already know that your XML document is a well-formed. Now we are going to identify whether this document is a valid document or invalid document. For that also we have to follow the 2 points, and the 2 points is XML document must include a DTD, that means document type definition. This document type definition will provide you a list of element content. That means what are the name of the element which is going to be contained in your document will be identified in the DTD. So in a validating document, you should have a valid DTD. And the XML document and their relationship of one another. That means all the list of the element plus the relationship of the element will be written in the DTD. And the next one is the structure of XML document must match the structure defined in the DTD. That means what you have defined in the DTD, a list, that list should be matched with your coding, with your XML coding. If it is mismatched, then your XML document is invalid. So we have to keep in mind these 2 points to identify whether this XML document is a valid document or invalid document. One more thing that we have to know that is there are 2 types of DTD. That means XML support 2 types of DTD, internal DTD and external DTD. Internal DTD will contain inside the coding itself, and external DTD we can keep in separate file and we can link the file while writing the coding. I hope students now you have learned how to create the XML document and you have a knowledge whether your XML document is a valid or invalid, or whether it is a well-formed or not. So for details, you just read the chapter one more time so that you can understand well, and if you have any doubt, you can clarify your doubt later on in the class. One request from my side is just learn the tricky terms and memory by from page number 106. Thank you.
Stay home, stay safe, do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for India. Let's break the chain of